So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom, and update on some of the painting project recently I've been working through. I've been obsessed with Napoleonics for quite some time, painting them up, getting the regiments done, and I kind of went into a bit of a dip this last week or so. And one of the things I always say when people ask me on the podcast and what have you, how you keep motivated and what have you, is just change things up, and that's all I did. I got a new obsession, which we'll come to in a minute, but also I went back through some of the figures that I had in the stash of shame and started to paint them up. So as you know, if you follow the channel, I've been doing Normans in Sicily project, which hasn't stopped, it's just carrying on in the background. And I had a few metal Normans. These are Crusader miniatures. I bought them when North Star were doing a sale, and they were selling off packs pretty cheap, in fact very cheap. I can't remember exactly what, someone asked me that when I mentioned that before. Oh, it was quite cheap, and I thought, I can't even remember, but I do remember they were cheap because I didn't really need them. I just thought they'd be a nice variety to put into my plastics. And I quite like Crusaders. They have quite chunky swords. It's the only thing I don't really like. But they paint up beautifully well, and they're so simple to paint. And I fell back in love with metal figures. Not that I'd really fallen out, but I kind of, just really enjoyed painting metal figures this last week or so. These are, say, just Norman infantry, Norman knights, I think, foot knights. And I've just painted them up fairly straightforwardly. Now, one of the things I did use for the first time properly was this. Can you see that? The Cryptic Armor Shade gloss from Citadel Colours. The armor was basically basilicum grey, dry brushed with a silver, and then that wash over the top of it. And I kind of like that sort of almost dirty look to it, which I think just came out beautifully. I'm really pleased with how it worked, and looking forward to trying it out when I get on to finally get my Wars of the Roses project underway. So that's a unit of 12 there, foot knights. They'll join the Normans in Sicily project, in storage at the moment, but at some point they will see the light of day. So as well as the foot knights, I had a unit of 6 mountain knights. These are 3 of them are armoured, 3 of them unarmoured. Again, Crusader miniatures. Bought them at the same time as those foot knights from North Star when they were doing. It's always worth checking North Star's website, or subscribing to their online magazine, or they email it every week or so, or just following them on Facebook, because from time to time they do some really good bargain sales. I've picked up a variety of things over the last year or so through their bargain sales, like buildings for Dead Man's Hand, Dead Man's Hand figures, medievals, some ancients. They do a variety, Second World War figures as well. So it's well worth. I would, if you're looking for bargains or just something a bit different, keep an eye on their site. Not always, not every week they have it, but from time to time they do, and they have such a wide range. You get some really good figures. So say these are on their site. These are Crusaders. I think they're really nice. The only criticism I have of these figures, two criticisms. These big chunky spears. I should have maybe swapped out the spears and used pins or wire, but I was lazy and I just used some of the ones I had. The other thing is, you probably can't see it, but the horse, the width of the legs doesn't really fit on the horse, so there's quite a gap. And I was going to use pliers on them, but then I was worried about damaging the figure by sort of squeezing them around the horse. So in the end, I just sort of winged it, really. So on a couple of them, there's quite big gaps. That one, there is quite a big gap between the saddle cloth and the horse's side. Not enough to really put me off, but that's my only criticism. Otherwise, they're really nice. Use the same shading gloss thing from Citadel on the armour, and I just love the effect. I think it works really well. So more knights to join the Norman cavalry, my Normans in Sicily project. So next up, a unit of 8, well, a group of 8 Russian Second World War infantry. I have got, you probably may have seen it on the channel, I've got winter Russians and summer Russians for bolt action. And so I've just sort of saw these again. These were from North Star. These are Crusader miniatures. And they were selling them half price, I think. And I just thought they'd be useful additions to the force. So there's 4 of them with submachine guns and 4 of them with rifles, all obviously decked out for winter, and just use the same basing theme that I have with my winter Russians. This guy's got like folding bayonet, which is kind of fun. But really, yeah, just did them up. I thought again, it's about variety. My mojo around Napoleonics had sort of waned a bit this last week or so, changing it up and doing some different things gives me a bit of a change and a bit of variety in what I'm doing. Plus, adds another 8 infantry to my winter Russians. And as you know, if you play Russians in the Second World War, you can never have too many infantry. So if you wanted conclusive proof that I don't really know what I'm talking about, even when I'm talking about myself, and also that I have an addictive personality when it comes to collecting miniatures, and also the fact that I've lied when I've said all the time that I don't really like painting. Well, that's not actually a lie. I hold up this example to you guys. Now, those of you who listen to the Monday Night Plastic Crack podcast, a couple of weeks ago there was a question. I can't remember how it came about, but anyway, someone asked the question, was there a period or a range of figures that you would never paint? And I boldly said samurai. I'll never do samurai. And I genuinely meant it because I thought it was just too complicated. I wasn't sure that I'd actually want to play the figures, and as I've said many times, I generally buy figures, build armies to play a specific game. So if we're playing a lot of Napoleonics, I'll go crazy with my painting of Napoleonics. If we're playing AWI, I'll do the same with AWI. Now doing lockdown, it's been a little bit different. I painted up troops that I just fancied doing. The Normans in Sicily, for instance, was very much a project like that. But after we'd finished the podcast that particular week, we often have a bit of a chinwag afterwards just to sort of, chill out, relax, talk about things that have come up, talk about the future, that sort of thing. Only for 10-15 minutes, sometimes half an hour afterwards. And during discussion after that, Martin, blame Martin, #blame Martin, talked about 2 manufacturers. He talked about Titan Forge samurais, who are a sort of fantasy range of samurais, which got me and Steve very, very interested. And then he also talked about Steel Fist miniatures, and I'd forgotten that Steel Fist, who I love, their medievals and their Renaissance figures, absolutely stunning. I'd forgotten that they did samurai as well. And kind of that led into this is a long colluded way of justifying my ridiculous start of a new project, and also an opportunity yet again to #blame Martin. I decided to have a go at samurais. I don't know why, but I did. And I bought on eBay some second-hand plastics, actually. I think they're whatever the company that Warlords bought out. Is it Wargames Foundry or Factory or something? A whole load of plastic samurai and Osugaru figures. And they're okay. They're not particularly special. But I was really... within them were these 7 metal figures. Now, I have no idea what the manufacturer. They could well be Warlord ones, for all I know. But I really loved painting them. And I started painting them up just as a bit of a light relief again, just something different, and see whether I could. And I loved it. I really loved it. So I painted these 2 are yellow and black is sort of the main clan colours for the OD clan, and the red and black is the Mori clan. So I did 2 of each samurai, and these are Asaguri, these 2 here, and I don't know what this guy, probably a peasant or peasant of some sort. So these are all metal, and I really enjoyed painting them, to the point where I went a bit mad and bought more metals to do it. Now, I have no idea what I'm going to play with these. I picked up Osprey's Ronin rules, which look kind of interesting, and also Test of Honor. I know something that Martin plays, and they look interesting too, so I picked those rules up as well. So at some point these will see the table, but it's been very much a passion project, fun project, and I genuinely have really enjoyed doing samurai. Yeah, I know. There you go, conclusive proof. I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, so that's the first 7 of fast growing addiction to samurai figures. And here are some of the aforementioned steel fist miniatures. These are classed as elite samurai, whatever that means. They've got these ridiculous, I can't remember what they're called, but the sort of standard things, that the flag things that they wore in the period. So most often they sort of had this sort of flag. Can't see that, can you? Yeah, they had that sort of flag, fairly boring banner. But some of them, the more elite guys, had these massive, sort of very, very decorative things, whatever they're called. And the elite miniatures, the steel fist miniatures, elite samurai, all come with these. I just thought they're awesome. Really, really awesome. This guy particularly, I absolutely loved doing him. This guy as well. I mean, all of them I enjoyed doing. So 7 there. I've got another 3 to do from this range, plus because basically didn't have a huge stock when I bought them, but they're just so awesome. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to use them in a fantasy environment, because that Warlords fantasy game, Aileron, that has a samurai option in it, so I may well use them as that. As I say, I may use them for Test of Honor, I may use them for Ronin, and they may not be used, they may just sit in the cabinet and look nice. I don't know, but all I can say is I really enjoyed painting these up. Been great fun to do, and I can't wait to do more. These are all metals. As I say, I've got kind of rather addicted with metals. Now, they're fiddly buggers to fit these things on, because you get these bits separate, and you have to cut down a bit of metal pin to stick into the holster thing they have on their backs, which I drilled out a bit, hopefully the super glue will hold well with them, because they were fiddly so-and-sos to get in. But once they're there, brilliant. Really, really pleased. A couple of these guys have got clubs. The rest of them got very, very large swords. And this guy's got one of those, like a halberd type thing. I just think they're awesome. Awesome. See, I don't really know much about the period. I've got those books that I bought for my ill-fated 6mm samurai army, which I may now actually have a go at painting up. Because now I've got an idea of what they should look like at a larger scale. Going down to a smaller scale should be a little bit easier. So anyway, there's another 7 miniatures done. So talking about Test of Honor, with the Test of Honor box set of the rules, you get a special figure. This is him. He's an unarmoured samurai. And I love the pose. He's pulling his sword out the scabbard, sorry. He's obviously got all the flowing robes, and he's got his straw hat on his back. I thought it was a really nice figure. So I've just painted him up as a sort of Ronin, a sort of a lordless samurai, just wearing civilians. So really pleased with how he's come out, and great. Yeah, sometimes you just need something to get your juices going, and this samurai project has certainly done that for me. So next up, this is a bit cheaty, these figures. So these are 7 mounted plastic samurai from Warlord Games. I bought the cheaty because I bought them on eBay, pretty much painted. In fact, they were painted to a half decent standard. And then I basically tarted them up. They were on terrible bases, so I ripped them off and rebased them, put a few washes over the figures themselves, bit of highlighting in places, just to bring them back to life. And actually, they're really nice figures. So pleased with those. So as I say, a bit cheaty, not really my paint job, but whoever did them initially has done a pretty darn good job. So just shows sometimes you can pick up some bargains on eBay, and these were a bargain. And to tart them up a little bit, you can bring them back to life and back to the table. So now we're back with some more Steel Fist miniatures. These are warrior monk figures. Beautiful, really, really good fun to paint up. They've got, underneath their robes, they've got armour. And I just really like doing these. 2 bowmen and 2 with pole arms. Not much more to say about them. I kept them to from the illustrations I've seen, whites and sort of yellowy colours seem to be the order of the day for these warrior monks. So that's what I followed. And did the pole arms themselves with that yellow, just to sort of make them stand out like that. I don't know whether I may get a few more, just because this was the only ones he had for sale at the moment on the Steel Fist site. It does seem to, his supply seems to go up and down a little bit. So I think he did another pack of them, but because I think having more than 4 would be useful if I'm going to play things like Test of Honor. But yeah, just nice figures. Just nice figures. So talking about Steel Fist, there's another 4 Steel Fist samurai warriors. These are just regular samurais as opposed to the elite ones, apparently. Again, I've just done them in very, very colourful style. I've got the flags on the backs, which I bought separately from Steel Fist, and these are actually transfers on the these 2 are transfers on the back sail thing. This one is a hand drawn. I don't know. Probably actually this hand drawn is just as good as the transfers, but I put it in with the order, so there you go. Again, this guy's got one of those enormous 2-handed swords, which is just fearsome thing. The whip on those must have been amazing. This guy's got one of those Japanese clubs that you see in a lot of the illustrations. Yeah, just not much more to say about them. Really nice samurai models, and no idea what I'm going to do with them yet. Test of Honor, Ronin, maybe Warriors of Eraran or whatever it's called. I don't know, we'll see, but they're just nice, and I'm really enjoying painting up these samurais. So this is a group of 10. This is from Warlord's miniatures, Warlord Games. They're metal miniatures. They're supposed to be bandits and peasants for the Aran game. I just thought they looked really cool, and I fancied having some sort of peasanty type troops in the force. So I bought 10 of these. I've also got some Perry ones I'll show you in a minute, which I think match in pretty well. It's a bit more cartoony, I guess, in these, or at least fantasy type Japanese minis, but some really nice ones. I love this guy here with the bow, this guy standing on some sort of treasure box. This guy looks like some sort of caricature with his double sickles. But yeah, they're nice minis, and well worth picking up if you want some sort of more peasanty stroke bandit type characters, which is what I am going to use these for. So I mentioned Perry peasants, and this is a pack of them. Just again painted them in very neutral colours. They've got a variety of farming implements. This guy's got a flail. It's got sort of a bamboo post with I think it's supposed to have a point on the end, which is what I've tried to sharpen. some sort of agricultural thing. This guy's got a great big maul. I mean, just brilliant, really nice figures, and I think they fit in reasonably well. There's that warlord one. Maybe the warlord one's a little bit bigger, but not enough to worry about. So that's another 6, gives me a total of 16 peasant figures for this force, which I think if I'm playing something like Test of Honor is going to be plenty. I won't need any more for the moment. If I go full bore on a fantasy army, then I'll probably need a few more, but they are dead simple to paint up. And I mentioned earlier about one of those figures, I didn't know where it came from. Well, clearly it was this one, so that must have been a Perry figure. So there you go, another one joins the peasant ranks. So I've done lots of samurai and other troops, and thought it's about time I got started on some regular foot soldiers. So these are the asaguri archers from from Perry Miniatures, these metals. Nice sculpts, really nice fun sculpts. Now, my only criticism, and I hate to dare suggest that the Perrys haven't got something right, but and maybe they haven't, and maybe others have got it wrong. But I was always under the impression that the Japanese longbow was very much a sort of, well, where's the guy? Where's the guy I just showed? Here we go. This sort of approach where, I mean, in fact, he doesn't even show it that much. If you see lots of illustrations, the longbow is very, very long, and they tended to appear to hold them quite low down on sort of the bottom half of one of the bow, whereas these guys look more conventional bowmen. Now maybe at a certain period the asaguri did use a regular bow, I don't know, which could be where the Perry's got this, but they just look more like a normal Western bow as opposed to what I imagined or have seen in illustrations as a Japanese longbow. So that's my own slight criticism, but otherwise they're good fun. I've done them in the Mori clan red, because I think that's what I'm going to have mainly with this force is Mori troops, because I think the red is quite powerful. Was done with what was it? I used contrast paint Blood Angels Red as an undercoat over the grey that I spray painted, primed them with, and then I touched them out with the Scale 75 Antares Red because it gives that lovely matte colour, and then I washed it with Ali's Brown Liquid wash, which I've talked about before now, which is very, very good on reds and blues actually, and quite pleased with how these fellas came out. Finally, a group of 6 asaguri arquebusts or musketeers. Again, Perry metals, exactly the same format I've taken there. They're going to be Mori foot soldiers, just with that those red armour. A couple of them I varied, same as I did with the archers. Most of them have got sort of black undergarments, but there's a couple of them I've changed. He's got white trousers, this guy's got a white shirt, this one, where is it now? One of them has green. That must be one of the archers. Just to give it a little bit of variety, this guy's got a sort of off-coloured hat as opposed to the black hat that these guys had. And the asaguri were very much the peasant foot soldiers that were forced into the samurai armies and actually took over the advent of muskets, or arquebusts initially, set them into a position where they could dominate against the samurai at various stages of the wars, and therefore they form a very, very important part of the armies. I've got a load of spearmen as well, and polearmed asaguri, which I'll paint up as well, just to add a bit of variety. But there you go, that's what I've been working on. So there you go, there's the latest update on my addiction. Lots of samurai and samurai related figures painted in the last week or so. just because I've got the bug on it. And I know I said I'm never going to do samurai, but it just shows once again, don't believe what I say, believe what I do. And I've really, really enjoyed doing these. I have to say, I've really enjoyed doing it. And it's very unusual for me to just enjoy painting a model with no real clear idea what I'm going to do with it. As I said, many occasions, I am a gamer primarily, and I like to paint for an army or a project that I'm going to use, and I have in mind a battle that I'm fighting, or if I'm into playing Napoleonics, I'll carry on doing loads and loads of Napoleonics because I want to add to the forces I can deploy. I still don't even know what rule set I'm going to use for these samurai. I have no idea whether anybody I play with will play against me, but I just really enjoy painting the figures up. So, which, as I say, is very unusual for me. So anyway, there you go. That's my update. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope your projects are coming on nicely. I'm about to go on a 2-week holiday down to Cornwall. So no painting for me, which will be nice. Be a good opportunity to recharge. If I've got room in the car, I might take a few boxes of plastics to make up. And certainly I'll be doing a lot of reading in preparation for a new project that I plan to start when I come back. No prizes for guessing what that is. #blame Martin. But otherwise, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you again when I'm back. May your dice roll high, your projects go well, and can always lose. See you later. This is Dom signing out.